Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video will be seen and shared. It's Sling Driver once again. Today I'm coming to you with a conversation video. No rants, no unboxings. I just wanted to do a conversation video on a subject that I've seen done elsewhere from time to time, and I thought I would tackle that subject. And that is, what do watches mean to me personally? Obviously, a watch is a timepiece. If you boil it down to the bare essentials, it's a way to tell time. So, what do they mean to people? People wear watches just for the timekeeping aspect of it, and that it's nothing more to them than an appliance. It's on the same level mentally and emotionally with them as a refrigerator or a microwave or a pencil. It's a tool, it's a device, it's an appliance. It doesn't mean anything. That's not the way I am. And that's not the way a lot of you are who subscribe to this channel or have come here for the first time. I'm sorry, my neck is very stiff today, so I hope you'll forgive that. Now, I've looked at my personal collection, and when I look at my collection, I see four things that watches mean to me. Four major categories, if you will. And I'm going to go over them real quick. First of all, I've got this watch here. This is a Casio World Time. It's a very simple digital watch. Costs like $25 on Amazon. It's a very simple-minded watch when it comes down to it. It has a lot of great functions to it. I've done a video on all these watches, so if you want details about a particular watch, just search back through my channel and take a look at the detailed video. But what this watch symbolizes to me is the fun aspect and the meeting new people and making friends aspect. That's a fun watch, to be sure. I mean, it's a simple grab and go quartz digital watch. But what this watch means to me when I look at it is I'm reminded of all the great people that I've met through the watch hobby on YouTube and Facebook. Guys like who own this watch and inspired me to buy one and inspired me to modify this watch. You can see that sliver of orange and blue there. You can actually take this watch apart from the back, pull the module out, pull off this faceplate, and you can take, in this case, I took slivers of camera light filters and cut them off and glued them onto the backside of the face and turned my watch into a little Florida Gator watch, where I put orange over the world map, which shows you what time zone you're in, and I put the blue over the quote-unquote analog version of the watch. I don't know if you can see it there, but there are hands inside the analog part that correspond to the digital. And I was inspired to buy this watch from guys like Random Rob, and to modify it because he showed a video of him doing it. And I thought, oh, that's easy enough. I mean, how bad can I screw it up? And if I do screw it up, it's a $25 watch. I just toss it. So guys like Random Rob, guys like Bobby Legs, guys like Jerry, 3D Jerry, Jerry 3D, I should say. Tennessee Mike. I know I'm going to forget a whole bunch of people, and please don't be mad at me for that. But, these are a bunch of guys I met through Random Rob's channel and through people coming to my channel, Wrong Time Watch, Horology Insanity. I met a lot of great guys Iconic Ivan, from iconic timepieces. And of course, Elshin Tang from the owner of Zelos. These are all top quality people. When I look at a watch like this, I'm reminded of all the people that I've met through watch collecting, and that I've met through the chats and the conversations and such on YouTube and in Facebook groups and Discord and Facebook Messenger subgroups, and all the great people I've met. I've sold watches to these people. I've bought watches from these people. These are people I considered friends. And when I see this watch, I'm reminded of all that the watch hobby has given me. It's given me great friends and great times and great and in the case, I mean, this was a simple modification, but this is something I would never have thought to try on my own and stretch my knowledge a little bit, my abilities a little bit. And it may have been a small stretch, but it was a stretch. It was something I'd never done before, and I decided to give it a try. And if it weren't for those guys, I would never have done it. So the watch hobby has given me great friends. Another thing that the watch hobby has given me is the opportunity on several occasions, I think about a half dozen occasions really, maybe more, of obtaining watches that are very hard to get or very rare. And I choose to show that aspect of it as showing you my Zelos ZX Spitfire. This is a one-of-one custom watch. The watch face that you see there with the what you might think is damage to the watch face is actually patina, because this watch face was made from the metal of a World War II Supermarine Spitfire fighter aircraft from the Royal Air Force. And I was given this opportunity to get this watch from Elshin Tang, the owner of Zelos. It was, in another form, his watch. And he showed it to me, and I half-jokingly said, when you're sick of that watch, I'd like to buy it. And he said, well, I want to sell it. So, well, I mean, the conversation went a little deeper than that, but essentially he was ready to sell it. So he rebuilt the watch to my specification, and here it is. I have a unique in the world timepiece. I have a few watches that are either one of one or one of three or one of 10, something like that. Very, very rare watches. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to say that this hobby has given me the opportunity to own something or some things that are unique, or unique in the world of watches. Now, I mean, this is not $100,000 Patek. It's not a bejeweled Rolex. It's not an FP Journe with enough horological insanity going on. No pun intended, Josh. Horological insanity going on inside the case, that there's 1,000 small parts crammed into it, all made out of unobtainium and precious metals. But it is, in this case, a great little timepiece. It runs fantastically. And what it means to me is I was able to find something and obtain something that is unique in the watch world, which is not easy to do. And I'm very proud of that, and I'm very happy about it, and I love this watch to death, and I wear it all the time. And it's still in great shape, which is a testament to the build quality of even a custom watch. So the ability to own something unique is something that has meaning for me in the watch world. Now, topic number 3 is working hard to obtain your goal. And that comes for most of us in the form of what we call grail watches. These are watches that we've worshipped from afar or lusted from afar, and through various means, either selling off pieces of your current collection and or working hard and or opportunity intersecting with, in some cases, blind luck, you are able to obtain a watch that you have admired for a long time, and that due to circumstances that sometimes were not in your control and sometimes were in your control, you were able to get. And for me, that particular circumstance, or that particular thing, is in the form of these 2 Breitlings. This one came first, and this one followed later. Now, focus on the Navitimer. I have admired the Navitimer for quite a long time. In this particular layout, with the 3 subdials in either silver or white. I think it's silver. And quite frankly, I saw this watch for the first time on another YouTuber's channel. That would be the Urban Gentry, and that would be Tristano, TGV. And he did this watch. He did a feature on this watch, a whole video on this watch, and I just fell in love with the blue and the subdials and the look, and even the slide rule that's on here that I can't operate because I never bothered to learn. It's just a fantastic watch. And I decided at some point that I really wanted to get a hold of one. And I did my research, and I learned as much as I could about the different models of this watch. And I saved, and I worked hard. I saved. I sold a few watches to make room for it and to raise capital. And then when I was ready, I started looking around for a candidate, new or used. And I happened to stumble upon this one in particular, which looked different from all the other ones that I had seen, called the Twin 60. And I researched the watch, and I found out that this was a 1-year only production watch. And the watch was being offered at a price that was within my budget. I contacted the seller. I got additional pictures from the listing he had. And it looked fantastic, and it looked like the real deal, and the numbers all matched up. So I bought it. And I've had it for, I'd say, about 9 months now at the time of making this video. I changed straps on this thing twice. I went with a mesh bracelet for a little while. I just didn't bond up with it. So I put it on this blue collar strap, which is different from the blue strap that it came with. But I just love this watch to death. And I own a Navitimer, and it really makes me happy and feel satisfied that I was able to work and achieve a goal. And I set a goal, I worked hard, I did the right things, and I achieved the goal of getting this watch, and very happy about it. And then I set another goal. I really wanted a Breitling Emergency. This one. This particular, because I already had this one, so I didn't want the Emergency in this style with the 3 subdials. I wanted the Emergency in the Annie Digi style, like this. This is a first generation one. The second generation ones are priced a little bit out of my range at the moment. But again, I did my research. I saved. I worked. I sold a few pieces. I did the right things so that I was able to finally, after a good while, obtain my second Grail watch, which was the Breitling Emergency. It's in fantastic condition. I did not rush the purchase. I found one in great shape. I mean, look at the case the clasp back. I mean, it's in beautiful shape. No major scratches, no major wear. Look, it still has the winged logo. Is perfectly legible. And I found this one with its full kit, the case, the videotape. Yes, pardon me, it was the videotape, all the manuals, and a working tester. I have the video on this watch. Go back and look at it. I demonstrate all of that. But this watch and the other ones symbolize to me hard work, perseverance, and intelligence. Buying a watch intelligently, not going into debt, but doing it in my opinion the right way. Don't go into debt for these things. Go into debt for a car or a house, or if you have to, a college education. Don't go into debt for a watch unless it's just, I mean, that's your personal decision. I don't want to go into debt for a watch, but that's me. And currently I do have another Grail in mind. It's probably going to be a little while before I obtain it. They run for between $6,500 and $7,000 depending on the condition. It's the Omega Speedmaster from the Moon to Mars. The beautiful Speedy, and the subdials. It has 3 subdials on the watch face, and each subdial is a different planet picture. One is the Moon, then the Earth, and then the planet Mars. And it's a beautiful watch, and I'm working towards that right now, but it's going to be a little while. And finally, and most importantly, what watches mean to me personally is a personal connection to my father. Family in general, but in my case, my father. Now, my father and I always had a good relationship growing up. My parents are still married, working towards 57-year anniversary. Yeah, 57. And I have always had a very good relationship with my father. We didn't fight very much. We didn't. I didn't do anything to disappoint him, at least not long term. I mean, typical teenage stuff. But I have a good relationship with my father throughout my entire life. But my relationship with my father went up a notch or two when he got me back in. I had collected watches briefly and then stopped, and he got me back into the hobby. I think it was his way of trying to pass on the hobby to me while he was still here with me, and he is, as I make this video in September of 2020, he is still with me. But it was his way of passing the hobby on to me while he was still here. And the way he did it was many years ago, well, not a few years ago, he gave me this watch. This is a Rolex GMT Master. Now, it originally was a Pepsi dial, the blue and red dial, but I wanted to put the Coke, I'm sorry, not Pepsi dial, Pepsi bezel, but I wanted to put the Coke bezel on there, so I did that on my own. He had this watch for quite a while. I think this is a 1999 watch. Unfortunately, it failed on him, and he was and is a very busy man. Even today, he's a very busy man. He really doesn't have a lot of time for dealing with watch problems. That's now my problem. In fact, recently I got one of his watches that he's had for a long time that stopped. I think it was a spring problem. And he gave it to me to work on, because we figured If we got the thing to keep running long enough, the spring would unwind, and it would start working again. And damned if that wasn't the diagnosis. He's got it back now, and it's working fine. So those things are my problem. So he made this problem my problem because it wasn't working. It needed service, and he told me to go take care of it. And he said, if you get the thing working again, I want you to have it. So it didn't take a lot of effort. I mean, you just needed a general service, but he didn't have time for it. And I took care of it, and I gave it back to him, and he said, no, I meant what I said. That's your watch. And I said, well, I didn't know very much about watches at the time. He just handed me a Rolex. So I started learning about watches, and that kicked off my watch collecting from that point, which is now about 5-6 years now. So this watch is a connection to my father. Now, I'm not too proud to say I love my father. My father is a hero to me. His father and he are my heroes. These are the two men that I look up to pretty much only. And I look up to them for advice. Well, not my grandfather, my papa. He's been dead since 83, but I looked up to him for advice, and I looked to my father for advice and counsel and learning even to this day. I'm not too proud to say at age 55, I still have plenty to learn. And every time I put this watch on, I think of my father, and I think of all the hard work that he did in his life to provide for his family, and all the hard work that even at his age now, and even at his this stage of his life, he still is working in a way to make sure that his family and me and his wife, my mom, and his grandchildren are doing okay. And he's very concerned about all that, even as his life is unfortunately, winding down. Which happens to all of us. So when I see this watch and I wear this watch, I'm reminded of my father, and I'm reminded of all the hard work and the effort that he put into his life so that the rest of us in our family could live as well as we do, and do as well as we do, and have the intelligence and the experiences that we do. And it all stems from my father. And my mom, of course, my mom. But she's not going to give me any of her jewelry, so I'm reminded about her in many other ways too. But in terms of a tangible thing, this was the first watch that he gave me. He's given me many others. I admit, he's given me a lot of watches that I own, but this was the first one. This is the one that means the most. And when I see this watch, and I see the other watches too, I'm reminded of family, and I'm reminded of the hard work and the dedication to family that is symbolized by this admittedly very simple watch. And I will never sell this watch. Never. I don't care if I'm starving. I'm not selling this watch. Matter of fact, I'm wearing this watch for the rest of the day because I love my father. So that's it. That's what watches mean to me. They symbolize meeting great people. Meeting great people. They symbolize obtaining, having something unique and rare and if in a way precious. And they symbolize working hard and obtaining your goals. And they symbolize family and the memories of that family. That's what watches mean to me. Maybe probably other things too, minor things, but those are the four major things of what watches mean to me. So I'm going to wrap the video up with that. If you liked the video, I hope you did. I hope you learned something about me. I hope you learned something about what motivates me and what probably motivates other watch collectors as well. Give me a thumbs up. That helps with the algorithms that YouTube uses for searching, brings more people to the channel. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. If you want to, why don't you put down in the comments what watches and watch collecting mean to you? I'd love to. I'd love to see that. I love to read other people's stories, and other people in other videos have been very generous with their stories and their opinions and their comments. However, if you're going to be a jackass and you're going to troll me, or you're going to get nasty, or you're going to spam me with idiotic links, I'll just delete the comment and I'll block you. If you're new to the channel, of course, welcome. Welcome to the channel. Or if you've been here a while, you haven't done so, please click the subscribe button. It's over here, down there. Or maybe it's down there. Down there. Somewhere friggin' down there. Click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon next to it, so when I upload new content and or go live, you are alerted, and when we can have more fun together. Thanks for stopping by. Be safe. I'll see you in my next video.